We are good to go.
Okay, so welcome everybody to our 90-day game plan. We are in week, eight, I think, or nine. Well, we missed a week because we had a wonderful fourth. So before we kind of get into the meat of it, of the call tonight, which is really going to be about talking to people, like bringing up isogenics when how to bring up isogenics in a business setting, for product setting, all sorts of different ways. I really want to sort of re-engage people with what is possible right now. You guys, I think sometimes what happens is we get into like inertia, right? Object in motion stays in motion, and object at rest stays at rest. It's hard to kind of get it going. But if you really understand what's happening right now, you're going to do whatever you can to get yourself in motion. This year, we are going to hit $1 billion a year. Now, we've been talking about that since I started. In 2008, we did $250 million a year that year. This year is going to be the year that we hit $1 billion a year. And when you really understand what that is, there's only about 2,000 companies in the US that do that. All the companies, only about 2,000. And think about all the millions of companies, only about 2,000 do $1 billion a year. But here's what's so exciting is that's kind of the tipping point, because then they're projecting that we will be doing $3 to $4 billion a year in the next 3 to 4 years. For those, I'm a Seattle girl, born and raised here. So we saw, and I had friends who participated with Momentum, with Microsoft, with Amazon, with Starbucks, with some of these big companies. And that's what we're in right now. So if you get that and you can get in and really put some effort behind this for the next couple years, and I'm not saying it has to be full-time, pedal to the metal for the next 5 years, but if you can really put some effort to build your team right now, it could literally pay off for generations to come. Herbalife is a great example. Herbalife has about 860 people who are making over $90,000. Herbalife company is about 45, 50 years old. They hit Momentum in the mid-'80s. 80% of the people who are making that that $80,000 a month came in during a 5-year stretch in the mid-'80s when the company was in Momentum. And 30 years later, they're still doing that. They're still making that kind of money. That's where we are right now. We're right there. So if you can really get this and commit, the company has set, the Crystal Executive reset, but we're gonna, whether or not you hit that this week or not, it's about, if you're not going to hit it this week, that's okay. This is a marathon. When are you committing to, hitting? So, with that, I just wanted to kind of get you guys really engaged with this opportunity, this window. I have a friend who went to work for Microsoft in 1988. She was 22 years old. And 5 years later, she was worth about $12 million because she happened to be at the right time, at the right place, with the right company. But here's the other thing that she did. She just didn't sit there and do her work. She knew that if she really worked hard and really pushed, she could move up in management, and the higher you went in management, the more stock options you got. And that's when they were giving out stock options. And because she did that, because she, decided to grow during that period, that's why she is financially set for the rest of her life now. So that's what's available right now. So you just want to get you guys a little really understanding that when you do, it's like, okay, game on, let's make it happen. What do I got to do to be a part of this? Because I would hate for everybody on this call, anybody on this call, to look back 5 years from now and say, I wish I would have just got my butt into gear and done something. So, okay, so what we're going to be talking about is really how do you share Isagenix with somebody. We're gonna Dawn and I are gonna do a little bit of role playing here. What I'm taking on is when you've got somebody that you really want to introduce, you're thinking about for the business, not necessarily the products as well, but you're really thinking this person could be really phenomenal at this business. So Dawn, who are you thinking of? I mean, do you have somebody that you'd really love to share this business with?
Yeah. So I enrolled a friend of mine. I've known her for a long time, and she's such a great fit for this business in so many ways. And so I enrolled her at first, and she had kind of this, icky feeling about network marketing, but she enrolled and she started the 30-day and she lost 15 pounds and she's loving the product. But she's such a perfect fit in so many ways, but she's not taking any action or showing any interest. And she gets the value of multiple income streams. She's an independent entrepreneur. She's like super powerhouse on social media. She's hungry. I mean, she's divorced and single, and
Dawn, are you there? Dawn? Oh no, Dawn's frozen. Dawn, are you there? Okay, well, hopefully Dawn is going to come back to us here in a second. We seem to have lost you, Dawn.
Lost her job.
Oh, we lost her completely. Oh,
Hear a word I said?
Well, I heard that she was a powerhouse on social media, that she'd be a perfect fit for this. And then you couldn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, yeah, she gets the value of multiple income streams. She's hungry. She's scraping by. She lost her job a year ago, and her unemployment benefits just run out. She's divorced and single, a mother of 2 kids who are going to college. There's just so many reasons I can't get through to her to sort of pick up and take action with this. And I guess maybe my fear is I fear being pushy. So I just kind of don't know how to go about it.
Okay, awesome. And, I mean, here's the thing. We all encounter people like this. A lot of times people will come in. I came in for the products. I mean, that's needed the business. So really, it's just about asking questions. And she's had a great product experience. So you've got a foot in the door already. So at that point, I would just send a message out to her. And what is her name?
Eileen.
Okay. So I would just send out a message, call her up and say, hey, Eileen, I know you've had a phenomenal experience with a product, and I know you're entrepreneurial and amazing. What I don't know is if this would be a good fit for you, but what is available to you is amazing, and you could be amazing at this. You always want to affirm people. You always know, hey, I was thinking about you, and I always do what I call a takeaway. I don't know if this would be right for you or not. And it may not be. And if it's not, that's okay. But I know you love the products. And, use my story. My friend Lisa was in a very similar situation to you. And this has been absolutely amazing for her. So would you at least be open? Would you be open to at least sitting down and having a conversation so that you know what's available, and then you can make a decision about what you'd like to do with this. Okay. But it's it's just asking for affirming her, telling her it's okay if she's not interested, but saying, I want you to at least be aware of you. You could be amazing at this, and this really could provide you a significant second stream of income or third stream of income if she's open to multiple streams of income. Mm-hmm. Would you be, willing to sit down? And then the three of us could sit down and I could, get her on the phone. When you're talking with business, if you're new, you want to get them on the phone with somebody who has been successful in the business. So just do a 3-way call or a 3-way meeting. Okay. But it's starting to dream with people. Hey, you could be amazing at this, and it could really provide you a solution. Would you be open to taking a look at it? And it's just asking. If she's not, she's not. Does that make sense?
Thanks.
Okay, so and with that, we're just going to do a little bit of role playing here. I'm going to turn it over to well, actually, I'm turning it over to Jocelyn or Erin. Jocelyn, Jocelyn, do you want to go next?
Sure, I'll go next. And that was such a good interaction. And what I'd recommend for each of you is to write down the people as we're going that you're thinking of, so that you can, after this, really remember who you wanted to bring that up to so that this gets applied, right? So really great interaction in bringing up the business. So what the scenario I'm going to work through is talking to people on our chicken list, right? That list of those people business, we just, for some reason, we think of reaching out to them and we're like, oh, no, I could never, I can't do that, right? Do you have people like that? Everyone, if you do, raise your hand. Okay, good. We all have those people. And so this is good. And the thing is, there's a breakthrough available by talking to those people. We think that we can avoid those people and make this happen, but there's the biggest breakthrough by reaching out to those people on our chicken list. So Kylie is so generous to work through this with me. So Kylie, say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Yay, the beautiful Kylie. So Kylie, who is someone that's on your chicken list?
So for me, for some reason, my closest friends are the ones that I am really scared to talk to about it. So for one, it's somebody I see weekly, hang out with all the time, and I just am terrified to tell her about it.
And what's her name?
Mackie.
Mackie.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you see Mackie all the time. You probably think of it almost every time you see her, right? Okay, so if you were to be really, really honest with yourself, what would you say you're nervous would happen if you were to bring it up with her?
So for me, I get really nervous about judgment. What are my closest friends going to think of me? Are they going to feel like I'm selling them something or pressuring them to look into something that they may not be interested in? And this is something I could probably be making up, but I really always think they're going to think I'm a part of one of those pyramid schemes.
Mm-hmm. So good. Anyone else relate to that? Fear of judgment, will look weird, and then even getting more specific, the fear of being judged for being a part of one of those things. Okay, so that's so good. And we could dive into kind of little parts of all of that because there's probably different layers, right?
Yeah.
You get through one judgment we're afraid of and then we're at the next because it's just what we all deal with. So what would you say is the most prominent, you might have more than one, but if you were to imagine the worst thing she could say to you, the most prominent one, what would that be?
Probably the pyramid scheme.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last year, part of one of those things.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, so that's the worst thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So first I want to ask you, what would that mean if she said that to you? Like, imagine she said it in the nastiest tone, everything. What would that mean about you if she said that?
Well, I know the truth, and I know I'm not part of one of those things. But I honestly would probably feel like, oh, okay, she's shutting me down, like I should probably back off. And that's usually like, that's what I've done in the past is like, okay, if I get that objection, I like totally just like, okay, fine, it's not for you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So good. And because ultimately we all want to be one of the most like biggest concerns as humans is that we're accepted. We want other people to love us, understand us. So it's good to notice that, and it'll keep us from the people we're closest to. So let me ask you this. If you were to like just be sitting there talking with her and set that aside, like you're just going to set that aside, and we'll address that. So we're going to pretend that happened to you in a second and how we could answer that, because that is a question some of us are asked, right? So we'll talk about that. But if you were to just imagine sitting there with her and saying the most authentic, heartfelt thing to her of why you wanted to bring it up to her, what would you say?
Well, in the past, she's mentioned to me about how she's lacking in confidence. She'd like to feel better about her physical appearance, and she's lacking in energy. So I think I would just approach it that way. She's listed some of her goals and I have solutions. So it would be more of like, this is what I could do. Like I could introduce you to reach those goals,
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's great. No, that's awesome. Yeah. So just bringing up, like, I've heard you say this before, and here's what I would like to share with you. That's great. Now, what if I pretend I'm her and I said, oh, are you talking about one of those products from a pyramid scheme? So I just said that to you. What would you say? And this is so good, you guys. This was one of my biggest breakthroughs, was in being prepared to answer this question. So I so appreciate you doing this with me. So I said, oh, are you a part of one of those pyramid schemes? Now, what?
Normally I would say something like, well, pyramid schemes are illegal. And this is the type of company where, yes, you can make rebates and get your products paid for. And see, I get so nervous. This is why this is perfect for me, because I seriously stumble every time. But that's where I would start, and then normally I would just panic. So
No, good. Okay, good. Who's relating to this? If you're raising your hand, or if you relate to this, raise your hand. Okay, cool. So I think what you started with was excellent, right? And there's multiple ways people will answer this. So the principle I want you to take away is, number one, it's posture. So people will say it different ways, but what I'm going to first teaching truth, right? Like if someone were to like say, oh, are you a woman? You would just be like, yeah, I'm a woman. Like you can't challenge me on that, Same thing with this. Like, I say, oh, haha, like, I'll giggle. I'll be like, oh my gosh, funny question. Totally get it, right? Like I relate to them. I'm just like, yeah, I totally understand. No, it's not. Pyramid schemes are actually illegal. And then usually they're like, oh, so what is it then? Like, right. So I don't like try to like go into exaggeration or like try to talk about it at length. I just kind of giggle and I'm like, oh, good question. Totally understand. No, it's not. Those are illegal, period. And let her respond. And then if she has more questions, you just say, hey, the economy is now everything is going word of mouth. Like you probably have seen at salons and restaurants, like referral rebates. Same thing with this. So it's just word of mouth, which is the best trust. Do you want to take a look at the product? Right? It's just the posture, just being certain. And once you really get connected to that over a few times, I did get that question in the beginning. But now that I've gotten so solid in learning about the industry and have answered that a few times, I haven't been asked that in probably a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? Because it's out of my space. It's not a concern anymore. But again, I did get it a little bit in the beginning, so that's okay. That's natural, because it's kind of like it's like the business kind of just preparing you, and it's just preparing your belief, because we have to believe in network marketing. We have to believe in Isagenix, and we have to believe in ourselves, right? And so there's going to be in the beginning these challenges to build your belief in all of those, and that's a win, right? Like, celebrate all those challenging questions, because it's preparation. Now when someone comes to me, I am rock solid. I'm even so rock solid about Isagenix, I have other network marketing people refer their people to me because I'm certain in Isagenix. So you will basically, just as you answer it more and more, it'll just start to disappear.
Awesome. Thank you.
So let's pretend again. So you're sharing from your heart, and you're like, here's what I see possible for you. I'd love this breakthrough for you. And I'm like, oh, is that like a product from a pyramid scheme?
No, actually, pyramid schemes are illegal.
Good. And you giggled too. That's good. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So that's just it. So who got something out of that? Cool. All right, good. And my last invitation before I pass it on with this scenario and all is, we imagine the worst of what could happen if they say, the thing we're most afraid of, right? But what if we, instead of that, like, and acknowledge that, right? Like, let's be real, we all have that. But what if we imagined worst case we didn't bring it up? And what would happen for the rest of their life if we didn't bring this up? Like, we can change the trajectory of someone's life. So like, that's what I shift my focus to after I acknowledge here, is actually what would happen if I didn't say something? You know what I'm saying? Awesome. Thank you so much, Kylie, for working through that. And I want to hear that you talked to her this week, right? Okay, cool. So let me look. I just got a little message. I want to make sure. Yes. Aaron would like to share something.
I like to share. I just like to share. Kylie, can you unmute yourself? Do you mind if we go for a second?
Yeah.
So you be Mackie for a second, and I'll be Kylie. Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Mackie. This is your friend Kylie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Kylie?
I'm doing great. You know, I'm a part of this side business where I've really been feeling so great, and I've actually been able to, on the side, if I can be honest with you, I've been really afraid to tell you about what I'm up to, because you might think it's like a pyramid, one of those pyramid schemes, or what you might say. But I really love to share that with you. Do you mind if I share a little bit about what I've been up to?
Yeah, sure. Let's hear it.
So that's one way to bring it up, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I know that's the scary route, but sometimes, like, when we get to actually say what's there for us, you know, our people are like, oh no, that's great. Or we realize that they would have never said it at all. Or, I mean, it just opens up a space, you know?
Definitely. Thank you for that. I like that too. Just, head on.
All right, Lindsay, did you want to say something?
I do, just because thank you so much, Kylie, for being so brave in sharing this. You are just awesome. This is like the first time I've really gotten to hear from you. So first of all, I wanted to say that, like, just how blown away I am by you. And it reminded me, I haven't used this myself. Ooh, I got so excited, I knocked my own earpiece out. But I had a similar situation, and your comment reminded me of this girlfriend that this is what I ended up saying to her. I went to her, and I was so nervous, I remember, but I said, you know what, I've been kind of stingy with you. And if we think about it, if we know what someone is dealing with and we know we have a solution, we are being stingy. So I went to her and I said, hey, I know I've been stingy with you. You've shared with me what your financial goals are. And all along, I've known about something that is benefiting my life financially, and I haven't shared it with you, and I'm really sorry. And then I went on and I shared Isagenix, and you know what? She said it wasn't for her. But at least I know now that I wasn't being stingy. So that's another, maybe, like, and again, if it feels authentic to you, to anyone who's listening, a way you can bring it up and kind of bypass your fear, by just calling yourself out, because we really are being stingy if we're not sharing this with people.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Like, and there's so many more like little nuggets of that we could go into this. And we have more scenarios coming up. And that's the beauty of this is if there are people or certain things you're concerned with, the best thing you can do is mock. So like if we don't go through a certain scenario you're talking about or you're dealing with tonight, reach out to one of your coaches and be like, here's exactly what I'm nervous about. Let's talk through this. But now we have the lovely Eva. She's going to go through another scenario, right? So we've done bringing up the business, someone on our chicken list. Eva, now please take us through your scenario.
What I'm going to talk to you about is bringing up the products, right? And so much of what Jocelyn said applies. Posture, having the posture and the belief, right? Belief in the products is going to absolutely, like if you're bulletproof in your belief in the products, sharing the products that becomes simple, right? Because it's just, you love them. Why wouldn't you want to share it with everybody you come in contact with? Why wouldn't you want to share it with everyone you love? And it just becomes what you do. So we're going to mock a little bit. I'm going to mock a little bit with Drew. And, at the beginning, it can be uncomfortable. Like, how do I bring these up to people? Like, what do I say? So we're going to go through a couple of scenarios also about how to share and how it can be easy to share. So Drew, at the beginning, he was not the most comfortable at sharing this. He wanted to, but he wasn't the most comfortable. So we're kind of going to go back in time a little bit with him and, talk about that. So Drew, why don't you share, at the beginning you wanted to share, but what was that like for you? And then we'll mock a little bit.
Well, for me, right off the bat, I when I started feeling different, when I started having energy and I started seeing results, I really, really wanted to share with everybody. But I honestly knew very little about the products, right? I didn't know how to explain things. I didn't know why different ingredients were in all of our products. I just knew that they worked. And I just wanted everybody to do them. But yeah, uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable sharing with everybody. It really didn't seem to matter who it was, families, friends, whatever. It was just uncomfortable, but I wanted to share.
So let's talk about, I know one of the first people you shared with was your brother. So why don't you take me through that conversation and, what did you say to bring it up? You wanted to share the products. Here's your brother. What did you say?
I think I was probably about two weeks, right at 2.5 weeks into my 30-day cleanse. And my brother, by the way, is very big into fitness. He's a huge snowboarder, plays soccer, volleyball. He's played a lot of sports all his life. He takes his exercise, his workout routine. He takes all that very seriously. So I immediately thought of him when I started, producing results, and I wanted to share with him. But I remember being very uncomfortable when I reached out to him. So as I recall, what we're going to do here is I'm going to call you, Eva, and I'm going to pretend as if I'm calling my brother, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All
Go
right,
for it.
All right, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Johnny, how's it been going?
Good. All same.
Yeah, I hear you. Working a lot, as usual, I'm sure.
Yep.
So,
that's what I do.
Listen, I wanted to share something with you. I've been seeing this girl, and she shared with me this stuff, and it's just this really cool system. There's like bars and a cleanse. Like there's this cool cleanse. You can drop your body fat. Like you really got to check it out, man.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. That sounds really cool. So that might be the common way to like bring this up to people, right? And then you want to like word vomit all over them and tell them about the bars and the shakes and everything. But let's rework that, because let's be real. Does everybody want like a rundown like that? Does that excite you? Does that even did that excite anybody on this call right now? No. Okay, so why don't we try this again? And we're going to go into a little bit. Well, let's just try it again, and we'll see how it goes. Go ahead.
All right. So,
hello.
Hey, Johnny, how's it been going?
Good.
Listen,
my voice got a lot higher than it used to be. Sorry.
Listen, I wanted to share something with you, man. I just started a new system a little while ago, just barely halfway into my 30-day system. And I've been experiencing all kinds of cool results. And I want to share this with you. Like, it is the coolest thing that I've run across that is really, it's really shifted in the way I feel and the way my body responds, especially my rock climbing abilities. Like, I've been able to go up a full, couple of grades and just in the past 2 weeks that I've been on the system. And I just want to share it with you. Like, it is so cool.
Cool. Like, tell me something about it.
Well, my favorite parts so far are the cleanse day.
No. Use the tools. Okay, so what we're going to say, that was awesome, is we can build off of 3 words, right? I don't know. And what do we want to do? Because this is all about duplication. Because what Drew's going to say, I'm not necessarily going to say, Brad's not necessarily going to say, Lindsay's not necessarily going to say, but what we can do is all use the same tools. And at the beginning, especially, you can take so much pressure off of yourself that you don't need to explain how everything works. So you say, you know what? I don't know. You have 10 minutes to watch a video, and that'll give you all the information, and we can, chat again. Can you do that right now? Or, right, Drew? Yep. Okay. Or, we use the Facebook system where, I'll tell you what, we have this incredible community online. I'll add you to the Facebook group, and I'll post a couple of videos in the comments, and then we'll chat right after that. So really using the tools is the key to duplication and the key to keeping it simple for yourself. And that's how you can bring up the products. Cool. So, all right. So now I'm going to pass it on to Brad and Neil.
Hey guys. Now, first of all, I realize we are running long. I'm just wanting to ask, do we have permission to actually go and talk to you a little bit about the way we've really gotten our Facebook social media game kind of where it is? Is that cool with everyone? Okay, awesome. Well, we respect that, but for us, we have really been incredibly purposeful about what we do with social media. And, certain stuff, I guess I'll let you kind of roll with it first.
Yeah, when you say purposeful, we've also been authentic. So we have chosen certain things that we're passionate about, and we live out loud about them on social media. So I post about a fun recipe that I made and is good and tasty and healthy. Well, it attracts people to look at what we're doing. We post about the dog that we just adopted. And so we've got a community of people watching what we post, liking, commenting, and we engage people by being authentic, being positive, being mindful about health and fitness, but also being vulnerable. Saying that we're not so on top of things as we usually are, but next week, this weekend, we're being diligent on what we're doing. Being authentic is also attracting people and part of our brand as well.
And, a lot of it it starts with you. If you are being negative on Facebook, if you are forwarding negative things, you need to cut that out, because that's not going to attract anybody that you want in your business, right? You wouldn't even want to attract yourself in your own business if you're being like super negative. So, really focus on positivity and really bring life and speak hope and joy and excitement into other people's lives and into your own. And then what you're going to see is you're going to have people commenting, liking, and really engaging. And that's what you want to do. You want to create an engagement with people. And then also in the meantime, create a curiosity about what you're doing with your health, with your wellness, with your energy. So like, how are they always like feeling so great? What do they do? Now, we do this a lot different than most people. Most people will do like before and after photos, or, you know, have their shaker in their hand and it just slams Isagenix. We have chosen not to do that. Now that's okay if you're doing that. That's where we started. But we ended up starting to just kind of verbally vomit on Facebook about what we were doing. And we saw the people in our lives suddenly just start tuning out. And can anybody relate to that? I mean, I think we all get a little bit excited at first, and then we just end up starting to just vomit, word vomit on everybody. But, you know, honestly, when you come at it with who you can help, suddenly you are starting to identify, really, it's not about you. It's not about us. It's about them and how we can help them. So today we're just going to really briefly talk about really how to really create engagement on social media. So first of all, it's about connecting and establishing common ground. So typically when I message people, I have to identify, do I know them really, really well, or are they an acquaintance? And really, this is going to be incredibly hard to role play because there's so many different scenarios, and we're going to kind of go through as many as we can, as fast as we can. So if you know them, you can actually ask for referrals. If they know what you're doing something, right? I have purposely, I actually started sending out a message being like, hey, you know, thank you so much for being such an amazing support for Danielle and I. We're just so grateful for your friendship and, you know, your belief in us. And then I say, second of all, I just wanted to ask you a favor. And you probably know what we're working towards. And you can either say in Isagenix, or you can say, you know, we're working towards with our wellness program, or however you want to word it. You would be open if I just shared this with you, just in case you know of anybody that we can truly help. We really want to make an impact in other people's lives. And I just thought of you because you've always been such an amazing support to us. Now, with that, what you have already started to do is saying like, hey, you're kind of going like the indirect approach. I've sent that out to probably 50 people. I would say half of them said, that sounds really good to me. I need that. I need the extra energy. I've been watching what you guys are doing. You're allowing them to come to you in a way that you're kind of moving past them. That's been incredibly helpful for us. You know, and if they don't know, if you haven't been connecting with them, and if they are like, you know, high school friends that you haven't talked to in 5-10 years,
or
whatever.
If you haven't been posting on social media and they have no idea what you're up to because you hide it.
Right. And a lot of us kind of hide, you know, we're like, we're doing this kind of in the closet for some reason. Closet guys, like, be proud of what you're doing because you can truly help people. So, you know, if you're going to do that, you know, we have to really start creating common ground, right? You can't just be like, hey, you know, Bob from high school, I haven't talked to him in 20 years. Guess what I'm doing? I mean, Jocelyn and Aaron really addressed like that. You don't just come out and just be like, hey, this is, you know, this is what we're doing. You ask questions, guys. Get to know them. Identify their why. Find out how you can truly help them. And when you are asking the right questions and you're identifying things that are really going to empower you to offer them a solution, you are no longer trying to sell or push anything. You are simply trying to give them something that's going to better their lives because they've identified to you they're out of money, they're out of time, they're overweight, they're unhappy with their energy. If you can identify that, you can just simply say, you know, honestly, I'll talk to you about this, but I've really seen you on social media, and I think this could be amazing for you. And you can just simply point them to a tool. I mean, they already said it, guys. Don't be a fool. Use the tools. Seriously. And I cannot say that enough because we were those people that just kept on talking and wouldn't shut up like I'm doing right now. Do you want to add anything else?
Quickly, guys, just starting new conversations. If I see someone, a friend or an acquaintance that has a birthday that day, instead of posting on their wall, I'll actually private message them and just say, hey, happy birthday. Hope you had a great day. Or for instance, I saw someone had posted about her 15-year anniversary. So I messaged her and just said, hey, congratulations. That's amazing. You know, it's in today's age, it's amazing. You guys are celebrating your 15th anniversary. So just starting conversations like that lead to those questions of what are you up to today? You know, what are you interested in? Posing questions that will also come back to you because they'll want to know what you're up to.
Never a yes or no question, always
Yes.
open-ended. You want to create engagement. So if you have a pen and paper, just a couple tips that we covered is, who do you know that you can help? Because it's about them, not us. It's about connecting and establishing common ground. We just adopted a dog. Everybody loves dogs. And adoption world is huge. That's engagement. Establishing trust. Identify how you can relate to their circumstance. You know, most of us can relate to being sad, tired, unhappy, overweight, out of energy. It's something. Identify with them. You know, and then, you know, build them up. You want to edify them, guys. Speak life into their, into this is about stronger together, right? So we strengthen people. Ask questions, identify their need, and stay positive.
And don't verbal vomit. Use the tools.
Okay, we covered all of that in like 5 minutes. That was as fast as I could do it. Thank you, guys. I'm going to hand this back over to, I believe, Lindsay, and I think she's just gonna cover a few more things.
Awesome job, guys. Yeah, social media alone could be a full call. Maybe that's something that we'll do, but you guys did a fantastic job. And, you know, one of the things I always recommend to people is just follow others on social media and mimic what they do. Just really start to pay attention to people who have that way of posting that really speaks to you, and mimic what they do. I'm going to wrap it up just with a couple of announcements. And again, thank you so much for being generous with your time and allowing us to go over so that we could cover some great content for you. So a couple of announcements. Number one, the Crystal Executive Deadline has been extended just a couple of days to Sunday the 17th, Sunday at midnight Eastern. So if that's something that you're working toward, you get a couple of extra days. Just another example of how extremely generous Isagenix is and how much they really want us all to succeed. So for those of you going for that, we are here to help you. Second thing, you probably saw some announcements. There's a new seasonal shake coming out tomorrow. It's going to be introduced. Do I get to say what it is? Can I say? Okay, so I got an email and I know what the flavor is. So insert drum roll here. It is going to be an orange cream flavored shake. So here's the key, guys. Whether or not orange cream is your favorite, if that's not, you hear that and you're like, I don't like orange, or I don't like this, or can't we just make that ourselves with Orange Replenish and the vanilla shake? This is where you get to determine what kind of leader you are. The leaders who are really cranking it in this business, they love orange cream. When pina colada is introduced, they run with pina colada because that is what we have. So regardless of how you feel about orange, I encourage you to get excited about it. Share this with people, and you just never know. One of my newest consultants actually came from a person who was interested just in the pumpkin spice shake when that was announced. And that turned into someone eventually doing a 30-day and eventually going consultant. So you just never know what leveraging these seasonal shakes can do for your business. So get excited for that. Don't post it on social media yet. Wait until it's officially announced, but you should all feel very excited that we are in the loop and we heard a little bit early. And then the last thing is our anniversary challenge, which we're doing in Stronger Together, is the time period where people can enter ends this Sunday. This is the last week to get people enrolled for that. And you guys, since this is a community of leaders here, I want to let you know we don't have that many people enrolled. And most of the people who are enrolled are on this call. So what can we all do this week to reach out, be personally inviting people to enter, and then helping them do that, just making it really simple for them to get enrolled. All they have to do is send a quick picture, and let people, this is really, yes, it's a tool for you. I'm sure each and every one of us would love to win $500 cash, but we wanted instead to produce more than $500 in residual income in your business between now and the end of the year. Think about, if you went out and shared it with just 2 people between now and the end of the week. If Jocelyn gave this great example, what if we all just focused on you plus 2 in terms of the challenge, right? So you get yourself enrolled if you're not already. If you are already enrolled, post something in the Facebook group. Really be responsible for promoting it, building excitement, and then what would it take for you to have 2 people join you in the challenge between now and Sunday? Don't rely just on tagging people in the pinned post in Facebook. Reach out and personally invite them, ask them about their why, dig deeper into what are their goals, and then be willing to show them how this challenge could support them in getting there. Because someone is going to win $500, and as of right now, there's actually really, really great odds for people who want to get started. So please, please, please leverage this for what it is, which is a business tool to help you build your business. And how we do this is first getting ourselves involved and then inviting, at least 2 people, if not more, to join us. Anything else that I am forgetting? I don't think so. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to dig deeper into our why. So this is a preview of coming attractions, and something to really, I would encourage everyone to do, especially coming out of a holiday weekend. Cycles tend to dip. It tends to be a little bit lower. And maybe you've noticed that in your business. You feel like you've been doing the actions, planting the seeds. Maybe the results haven't quite come yet. And when that happens, it can be really easy to lose sight of why we're doing this in the first place. What had us excited and connected to our vision when we first got started. So I'd really encourage you all to spend some time this week and even tonight reconnecting to that. What is it that excites you most about Isagenix right now? And what can you share with others? And then be watching this week, and then on the call next week, we're going to be highlighting that a whole lot more. So anything else before we sign off? Anything I'm forgetting? All right, well, have a fantastic rest of your evening, guys. Have a phenomenal week, and we will see you back here next Monday. Bye.